upcoming news. And we're going to be talking about Half-Life 3 rumours, John, that continue to swirl about the multiverse. And while the 20th anniversary of Half-Life 2 came and went last week, with no big announcements, GTA was sort of overshadowing everything. Besides some behind-the-scenes info on Valve's plans for Half-Life 2 Episode 3, YouTuber Tyler McVicker has put out a new video with what he believes is a further evidence of Half-Life 3's existence. McVicker had made frequent claims regarding Half-Life 3 as in the past, such as a cancelled build-up of the game from 2015, but he was among the first to leak details on Valve's upcoming multiplayer shooter Deadlock, or Citadel as it was originally known. According to McVicker, recent updates to Valve's current titles, Deadlock, Dota 2 and Counter-Strike 2, include details and files he is convinced are related to a new Half-Life game. Sometimes games are like that though. Sometimes they start off as something and then they just evolve into something else, very much like films do at the time, you know. But I don't know, John, in terms of Half-Life, I was kind of semi-joking that I forgot about it. It was one of those ones that just I really enjoyed at the time, and it kind of bridged the gap between whatever we were playing at the time. And I think you got me the orange box. I think it was for my Christmas or my birthday. I can't remember. But
best sort of
I thought it was great. I thought it just
multi-game bundle.
Yeah. I love Portal. I love that
I've
game.
ever fucking bought in my life. It was an incredible. Yeah. I mean, the first two games, Half-Life games, were extraordinary games for their time.
They were so lengthy as well. I mean, you could play it for... It
was a story. It was months, like that era's version of Last of Us or whatever. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking the right thing out now. Yeah, Last of Us. I only played the first one because I think I had a PS4. Then I sold it for some reason. Never had the opportunity.
Was that exclusive to the PlayStation?
Yeah, it's Naughty Dog. Yeah, they do all the sort of great games. And obviously, Sony, being Sony, they have the rights to Spider-Man and whatnot. So you have to wait like 5 years to get it on PC. It will never appear on Xbox. No, the Spider-Man games, and they're fantastic. But very much of its time, it was like Last of Us, very complex, brilliant mechanics, and the story was really interesting, dystopian sort of world. I get the sort of interest moving over the last 2 decades for a further iteration, but my concern with this, Stephen, is you're always going to walk into the problem where people have built up their hopes that much, they've thought out what's going to happen in terms of the story, the characters, that you cannot possibly fulfill their happiness. It's like Star Wars again, where you've got 20, 30, in the case of the sequels, it's 40 years or something, 35 years since 1983 to 2015. So shite at mathematics, this is going to be embarrassing for me. 33 years, 32 years. That's when The Force Awakens came out, wasn't it? 2015. 32 years worth of hype and hope
for those characters.
You cannot possibly meet the expectations of that fan base. It's impossible. It's the same with this. The longer it goes on, the harder it's going to be. And it's the same with GTA and Rockstar. The longer they keep pushing it back and building up anticipation, they better have something fucking special when it finally drops, or the blowback is going to be Sarboma level. And if you know what that is, you know what that is. Well, I'll let you know what it is. It's a Soviet dropping of a bomb up the very north of Russia. Largest atomic explosion the world has ever seen, and it was half the power. They actually took half the nuclear arsenal out of the actual bomb, and it is the biggest explosion ever. That's the level of sort of blowback these companies are going to receive. I don't think Valve will have that level, because it's been years and years and years and years, and I think if they dropped it, people would be that happy at this point. Another example, Stephen, would be Star Wars for me. Old Republic, people have wanted a sequel to the Old Republic games. Yeah. Yep. And by the time they finally get one, I mean, it's just, you cannot possibly make everyone happy. You'll make some people happy, but not everyone. So it's tricky when you go that long.
I think
without releasing a sequel.
But I think in terms of these type of games, whether it be Half-Life or GTA, they're unique in their own way, that, you know, they become a victim of their own success because of their uniqueness. And we talked about this, I think, last week or the week before, John, when we were talking about GTA 6 and the whole moon thing. I think it was last week, wasn't it? It was actually our live show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Friday.
Friday,
Yeah, as you said, people build up expectation. You're not going to please everyone, but the problem that they have as well is repeating themselves. What do you do in GTA 6 that that you didn't do in GTA 5? In terms of, obviously, graphics will be upscaled, get that, and the maps will be a bit bigger. Half-Life probably doesn't have that same problem. In terms of obviously graphics, upscaling, they certainly need it. I remember that chap that's standing in the background there.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the chap from The Fugitive who was a bad liar in the hospital. Do you remember him? Bones, I think his name was.
I'm trying to remember.
He was just a bad liar.
I need to get back and
Richard
watch.
Kimball was there and he was trying to say he wasn't there and he said, I think it was Gerard said, I didn't even mention him, what he was saying. It's just a terrible...
Is that when he was floating about?
Yeah.
Trying to get access?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had the doctor's coat on.
But in terms of
Yeah.
in terms of obviously the graphics they can do, I mean that's what they will have to do.
But
in
Steve,
terms of
I mean,
missions,
that's a remaster. I mean, it's very impressive for a game of its age to look that good. It shows you that the actual...
when was part 2 out?
I think it was like 2. I'd have to search. I'd have to
They're
look
talking
it up.
about 3 should have come out in 2015, so it was
2004.
2004.
20 years ago.
Fucking hell, man,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
But it shows you that
long.
in its core engine, they had something really impressive back then that you
Yeah.
can just remaster it and it holds up. It's the same with the likes of the Old Republic. These old games, they've got a unique sort of personality about them, the characters and the
Yeah.
way that they were made. There's something about that time period, and even going further back, the Monkey Island games and stuff like that, they had a unique vibe about them. It's difficult to recreate in modern times. And it's a critique that people have had of video games in the last 10, 15 years. The graphics have went up and it became incredible, and even now I think it's the latest Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
It's almost indecipherable if you do it right. It's like a fisheye lens as a shooter game, and if you just see short clips, it's almost like that looks real.
Yeah.
But the trouble is the stories have never really got to that level.
Yeah.
And the characters and just the way that they had to, like, it's almost like the old Star Trek stuff. You didn't have the visuals, you didn't have the budget, so you had to compensate with great writing and
Yeah.
character development. They never had that level of graphics, so you had to overcompensate in
But
other
it pulls you in.
aspects. It pulls you in.
It does. It pulls when they do a good
Now you
story
can
and
just
the
don't do it now.
characters. Well,
They rely on the visuals now.
Alan Wake was another one, John, that I
Yeah.
really loved because of that. Because not in, there wasn't a multiplayer for it; it was a single player game, but it was
like
really good.
It was like a TV show.
Yeah, L.A. Noire was another one.
Ellie Noir was
I think a lot of
fucking great,
people were disappointed with L.A. Noire because of who it
Yeah.
came from,
Yeah.
and they were expecting some kind of multiplayer 1950s sort of style of a GTA, and it wasn't. It was a single player,
No, it was
but
a
it was
detective,
a very
yeah.
good detective series. And you're absolutely right. If they
There was
invest enough
Silent Hill and
time,
games like that back in the day.
and if you invest enough time and make the characters interesting, and there's a story there and a plot and a journey that you go in with these characters, and you can connect with them. Red Dead Redemption, the first game as well, single
Yeah.
player was phenomenal. I loved that. I think you gave me a loan it, John, and I held on to it a little bit longer than I should have. But
first,
I
I've
could
done that
not-
with
I
TV
could
shows
not-
now.
I could
I
not.
still get Millennium.
I could not put that game down until I finished it. And Half-Life 2 was another one. I could not stop until I finished it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
And it stands the test of time. As you can see, remastered. Visually, it looks great. The story's there, the characters are there. And so much so that there's still a fan base willing a third installment to come out 20 years later. So that shows you they did something special. Obviously, Valve, who made it, have went off to make Steam, which is a platform and it's selling stuff. So they've almost splintered off. They became manufacturers of, I think it's the Steam, fucking, what's the name of it? It's like a console PC like hybrid. They're creating their own like, platforms and whatnot now. So
Is this the Steam that you're talking about?
yeah,
Is
Steam,
that the
that's Valve. Yeah, it's the same company.
right? Is that the company that you had to log into to play
Yeah.
the likes of The Sims and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Online, yeah.
Yeah, Valve. They were the ones that made the game. They became what Steam now, which is a
Yeah.
platform for other, and it hosts other games.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
like
an
the
umbrella.
platform.
Yeah.
For PC gaming. I mean, it's like the
I didn't know that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So obviously they've got their finger in many pies now. Their irons in many fires. So it's going to be tricky for them to dedicate time to making. But I'd imagine if this guy is in the know, like the
McVicker,
what
yeah.
they're saying is, this
yeah.
McVicker guy, it sounds like he's Scottish. Probably isn't. He's probably from America, and saying that he's long lost relative
Tyler.
of fucking Tyler McVicker. He's probably claiming to be the long lost descendant of William Wallace, because that's what American people do. Can't just be related to fucking Jane or Jim from down the road in the middle of Pollock Shaws or something. They have to be related to Robert the Bruce or fucking William Wallace. It's like you weren't. I can
Nah,
tell you categorically
You were
weren't
related to Burning Nisbet, yeah.
Yeah, you are not related to Robert the Bruce. Sit the fuck down. Behave yourself. But if he's in the know, like he seems to be, perhaps they are working on something in the background. But they'd have to be very clandestine, indeed, in modern life to be able to slip that through under the radar. To the extent where they're almost testing it with a new engine.
Yeah.
But I fucking hope they are, because it'd be great.
Yeah, it would.
You need more competition, like I said. You need different games.
The only issue I would have probably, John, is that people like us would look forward to it, but there's another generation of gamers now.
It's like 2 generations now
who have never heard of this franchise.
Crazy.
Probably would they be interested in it? Who knows?
I mean, great video games
Yeah.
are great video games ultimately.
True.
And it could be reverse engineered. They discover the third installment and then they go back and enjoy the previous 2. But I wanted games to get back to this sort of stuff. I understand multiplayer and the whole fucking in-game purchasing and basically kid gambling and the likes of EAFC and the EA games and the 2K games. I get that drives money now. And obviously in terms of Rockstar, 10 years worth of updates for a multiplayer game without actually having to create a sequel. I get that drives it, but for me, and obviously Warzone and Call of Duty doing their thing, it's more multiplayer centric. I want to see a return to really fucking brilliant single player games, because Starfield came out too much frenzy and anticipation. It was fucking shit for me. That may be down to me though, because I've just not got the time to dedicate to it now. Hogwarts Legacy, I enjoyed it for a week and then fell away. And by all accounts, people love it. But I want to see some brilliant. I mean, I like it. What's it? It's called? I'm blanking on the name of it. Not Bioshock was another one, by the way. Fallout.
Yeah.
And I hated Fallout 3. I fucking hated that game.
Yeah, I had.
Was it Fallout 4?
4 it was.
Hated it.
Yeah.
Hated the
I played
building
it. I think I
mechanics.
played it on Christmas Day and never went back to
Oh,
it.
it
I
was
was like,
dreadful. And I fucking love Fallout 3.
Yeah.
I was so invested in the lore and all the factions.
that's the one Lemmy plays, isn't it?
Yeah,
The one
I
he's
loved it.
pretending he's.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Right.
Yeah, the nuclear bomb bit at the start. Yeah, it's like laughing at them because he can't get access to the bunker or the whatever it is, the vault thing. And obviously, I mean, that's just Lemmy all over. He can make anything interesting. He could play a fucking jigsaw game and make it interesting. But yeah, I mean, we need to get back to great single player games that have interesting characters, and the graphics are just a side note.